Good morning, everybody. We're having a great start this morning. It's Thursday. I've got I don't need my husband. I don't need Google. My husband knows everything. That's the one. And today we're going to be talking with Tammy Anderson. Good
Hi,
morning.
good morning. Dropping my phone.
And if you don't know about Tammy Anderson, you really should because she's making some waves here in the local film industry. She's done a lot of different things. She was a production manager on Indifferent Enchantment, production manager on Vid Chronicles. She even worked the sound department for Crave Roots of Evil and did costume designs for Nail Gun, Pure Hands, worked in the costume as a costume designer for Eyes of a Roman, and in that department for Black Clown. So she's doing a whole lot in the independent area here in the filmmaking in the Dallas Fort Worth area. So good
Yeah.
morning to you.
Good morning. I have a coffee cup. Oh, but I already finished it all. You can see. Ah, slow until I
Slow
get my
until I get
coffee.
my coffee.
And it's my little turtle.
That's
Hmm.
so perfect. That's perfect for this morning.
Right, right. Hmm.
So what are you working on lately?
Well, let's see. I just wrapped on a couple of great things. I have a horror piece coming out that's challenging me a little bit with a lot of the set design and production design work. Um,
Uh huh.
my latest, I actually am the costume designer at the Gaylord now, the Gaylord Texan. So
Oh wow.
that's been really fun. Yes.
Are they getting ready for the Halloween season at the Gaylord Texan?
Yeah, we started Halloween there about 3 weeks ago. So they have a
Oh
live,
my.
yeah, a live, more interactive theatric show for the kiddos. It's really great. You should go see them. I did a lot of the work on that. And there's really great people to work with also. But I'm already starting on Christmas there.
You've got to stay ahead of the seasons.
Yes, absolutely.
So I know they do a lot of different things there. One year, I took the family and the kids to the ice sculpture thing that they had, where it was an entire refrigerated room, and everything was carved out of ice, and it was just kind of they gave you these special jackets that they use in the North Pole, so that you wouldn't lose a whole lot of temperature when you were walking through.
Right.
But it's good to know that they're doing all kinds of things for the holiday season.
Yeah, they're pulling in some new things and it's really going well for them. I think it's just a really great franchise. I know they're even building new locations in the United States. So,
Oh, and what kind of projects did you work on for them?
I did the Halloween costuming for their live show, and I'm working on the elves costumes at the moment for they have actors come in. Usually, I guess only like 7 or 8 actors at a time that work the events. So,
What is one of the strangest things you've had to work on in the costume department for a film or a live event?
ooh, strangest thing. Hmm. Well, I love doing a lot of things with all the like timepiece things, but I like things that challenge me. So what I like is when people call me and say, "Hey, I think you can do this," and if you know Israel Luna, he called
We've
me.
met a couple of times. Yeah.
Yeah, just about a month ago. I made a devil sandal for him, more practical effects. And so we made the sandal dance and talk and scowl and crawl. And so, but that was super fun. Made me think outside of the box. You try a few things, you fail, you keep going, you make it happen for them. So that was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely different. Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. Let's see. Eyes of a Roman. What was it? What was it like working on that production?
Oh my goodness. We did that through COVID, and um it was on out in the hill country. So the most beautiful land owned by Derek Meyer. Really great guy. Met some really great people there. But what people don't know is, what I do is all pre-production. Like, I have to have things done and ready in time to work on everything. So we started working on that quite a bit ahead of time, which was really nice. It gave me a lot of time to work on the costumes. There was 200 actors involved. It was 73 BC, so one of my timepieces. But everything had to be worn and textured and dirty. They didn't have a lot of the materials and things to work on, the costuming and everything. So I had to think back in those days and make it look authentic. Um, I come from working on cheer and dance studios, so I mass produce, obviously, up to 50 girls on dance teams. So I just set up assembly lines. And one week I would work on cutting leather strips. The next week I would work on making the conchos, where I made molds and poured conchos and made all the poured metal and gold looking pieces, and the metal pieces that the general wore on his vest. Just all different kinds of creative things that you're showing all of our people. There they are. Um, but yeah, it was just a total assembly line of working on everything, putting it all together. So it wasn't just one costume at a time, like sometimes I do get to do if there's just 6 actors and they're very specific. This was, I
Mm-hmm.
needed 80 Romans.
So
6 of them
how
higher up. Uh, and then I needed all like 100 and some barbarians. So
how difficult is it to try to figure out how to make a costume to fit people of different sizes? If you have 50 actors and Romans in costumes, they're all different shapes and heights. How do you account for that when you're making those costumes ahead of time?
Well, it definitely is a challenge. So, a lot of actors are very good at filling out your wardrobe sheet and getting you the measurements and having sizes, and they understand. Um, for me, a measurement is more important than your size, because sizes can vary so much in a store. If you ask me to do wardrobe on your film and I'm buying for some teenagers, the sizes is great. I can go buy those sizes. Hopefully they work. Um, Making those timepieces and making all the, say, superhero, supervillain costumes, I need very specific measurements, and I will send out a sheet, and it'll have,
Mhm.
the outline of your body, and I'll have it pointing to where I need. Um, and a lot of people will do that, and it's very helpful. And a lot of times there's measurements on there that you wouldn't think you would need, but I need it because I need that specific spot to be able to hold on part of your costume or your armor or something like that. Um, so you do have a lot of actors. They are a little off on their sizes a lot of times, and I try to allow for that. Working on Eyes of a Roman, they were 5 hours, 5.5 hours south of me. So I didn't get to have as many fittings. We went down there for one weekend, and I personally did everybody's measurements. Um,
Hmm.
we just kept pulling on more and more people, though. So I learned to make everything adjustable. Um, and when you do those time period pieces, that's a little bit easier to do. Um,
Hmm.
you have strips of leather, you can put hole punches, you can lace things differently, and that sort of thing. When you're working with,
Yeah.
these days, and it's like the teen actors, it really does need to fit. You can't alter a whole lot on those kinds of things. But with the leather, I just brought my cutter. If I needed to cut off 2 or 3 inches, I could and relace it. So
Did you work on any of the props like the shields and swords and things of that nature?
I did work on some of the props. We had a really great guy, Ian, and he made all the shields for us. And oh, so much work. He curved all the wood, covered it with leather, and then painted everything. We kind of all decided on a design that we liked. So we did that. I made a lot of the props for, um, excuse me, like the sheaths, and the swords and the holders. And I made they're called pugios. They're daggers. I made all of those, formed them out of plastic, and painted them to look like metal. Um, yeah, we just had a lot, all those helmets and the plumes. I hated those. I call it Party City kind of things when you buy the the costumes. But I like them to look
Yeah.
authentic. So I bought all the natural human hair, and I made the plumes out of that and took out the plastic bright red. And
Hmm.
yeah,
Well, that's awesome. Well, there you go. There's the
there's
natural hair
what I made on
to
pairs.
replace. Sometimes on a specific budget, you kind of work with what you got. But if you don't find the right person who's creative, yeah, you kind of find yourself stuck with whatever comes out of the box. So it's good to have
Yeah,
somebody like Tammy who's able to work in a pinch, work within a budget, and make things happen. Because not many people would have thought to replace that with the human hair.
right,
Because
right. Yeah,
that that's the kind of attention to detail that will bring a smaller production up, what they call
definitely.
production value.
Yes, that is my main job. Making it look better on a budget.
Absolutely. So, what's coming next? But yeah, I know you got Christmas coming up. But do you have any films that are in the works?
Yeah, actually, I'm in pre-production on a horror, more thriller. Um, Definitely, I'm production designer. I'm kind of in charge of a lot of it on that one. Um, where I get to make some really cool props that do really cool things. The wardrobe, there's a couple specialty pieces. Um, I think horror is one of the funnest things to work on because you really can just think outside the box and really get creative. It doesn't have to look
Hmm.
like anything, specific, or it can be totally something created out of your head. And I love
Yeah.
that. I love the freedom and the creative range on those. Um, I'm also working on a supervillain, like supervillain series.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, for a good friend of mine, and we're just taking costume by costume, and it's really great just to get in his head and see what he imagined when he's writing those characters, and making it happen for him. And um, I love, versus just going and buying wardrobe, which is great. And I love to do it, picking the colors and the textures and everything for the camera, and making all that come together the best it can. But I
Hmm.
love when I just get to create. And so the costume design part, and using all different materials to make happen what you want to happen, versus just fabric. Do you use foam? Do you use metal? Do you use cardboard? Do you use plastic? So I love just trying to combine the materials to get what I want.
On this superhero supervillain thing, are these all original characters or are they based on other properties that are out there?
Yeah, he for and it's Cameron Hazelwood is actually the writer and creator of it. Um, he it's these characters in his mind and where they came from and where their backstory is, and it's really fun to learn. And like I said, pre-production is so important on a film and my
Mm-hmm.
side of it. But just having those pre-production meetings and really getting in someone's head, like I need to know a certain character's backstory. Like, where did they get this costume? How did it develop? Where did it come from? What materials were available to them? All those kinds of things,
Mm-hmm.
you need to know, and you need to let that be a thought process in your head. And I love that we, already had some fittings, and now we were
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, it would be cool if she did this or created this. So I
Well,
love the whole process of it.
that's quite a responsibility you have there, though. I mean, because you are designing the entire look of what could possibly be a totally new franchise of characters, and so you've got all of the weight of fandom on your shoulders. It takes off into the stratosphere.
Right, yes. I know. Like it could be like the new doll or something, right? That would
Absolutely,
be awesome.
sometimes a franchise, a science fiction superhero things, they don't start off incredibly hot, but over time, as people discover it and they look at things and they look at the details of it, they wind up gaining a following over time and through conventions and so on. And so
Right.
it's exciting to be there at the very beginning of it to see who's behind the creativity, who's there, and it's often it takes a community to get things rolling and to make it happen. People who believe in the
Yeah.
product, and it's obvious that you do.
Yes, definitely. And it's always great when you have that team behind you as well, when you have the really great team that all can
Hmm.
connect. And I love when I get to visit with one of my favorite DPs, and he's like, this is what I really want for this shot, and this is how I want this scenes to look, and I'm like, I've got you. And it's just really great when you can connect and really plan those things out.
Yeah, yeah. Um, is there anything big that's just going to debut within the next few months that you've worked on previously that's going to hit the scene? Like, because I know you've got a few things that are already in post production,
Yes,
but
yes.
you may not be able to talk about them. I don't know.
I do have one. I actually just worked on a timepiece again, and it was for. Maybe you can adjust the sunlight here. It was just for a SAG feature film out of New Mexico. Some really great people I got to work with, and I did all the wardrobe when they came and filmed in Texas. It was for the 1830s and the Italian. Oh, just beautiful. It was so fun. So I know that production got a little delayed on that for some flooding and stuff on one of their locations, but that'll be coming out and I'll be able to announce that, hopefully soon. It was really fun because they allowed me to bring all of my friends and actors into the production as well. So I got to dress
Hmm.
all my favorite peeps.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
It's fun because if you can actually work with family, it's the best. But when you work with people over and over on different projects, you kind of become family.
absolutely. And that's what you need in this industry, I feel. Family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd want to cover?
No. It was really great to be on though and just talk about what I do.
Oh, well, I tell you, it was a pleasure talking with you. What I would love to do is maybe hear see some of the costumes next time around. Maybe we'll get a look at the Christmas costumes before they head out to the Gaylord Texan. That'd be
Yeah.
great. Would you like to come back on some other time? Because I'd love
That
to
was
have you back.
fabulous. I have one costume with me if you want to see some of them. It was
Well,
my favorite barbarian costume.
Oh, and you've got that on you right now?
I do. I grabbed the box this morning before getting stuck behind this train.
Let's see what you got there then, because
All right.
that'll be exciting.
So one of my favorite things is still always designing for my daughter. And she became a barbarian, a warrior in Eyes of a Roman. And so nobody's actually seen this costume other than our production people. So let me show you. She has some of her armor piece here. I'll just hold it up. So this is like the top. And this was her armor. It's made out of antlers. You can see.
Yeah, I'm going to give you the screen for a second, just so everybody can see this really.
Oh, there you go. It's made out of all the antlers and everything, and all the leftover pieces of her fallen barbarians, so she could bring them into battle with her. And then the top was all the pieces of leather and suede. How do I move around here? So I have that, and then some of her other guards and armor pieces are. I just used everything that they could find. You could see there's bones hanging, metal pieces that they would have found on the battlefield, and like her arm guard. Yeah. So I got to keep that one.
That's great because
nobody's seen that other than our production. You're the first.
Well, that is awesome. That is great. Let me just do something here real quick, if I can. Oh, here we go. Here's what they've already shared to IMDb. That's Ella. Is that correct?
That is Ella. That's my daughter. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And this is pre-armor, I think, is what the costume is there.
This is her growing up. Yep. Yep.
So
there.
So that's fantastic. That's great. I want you to hang with me for just a second. I have to make this little announcement, and then we'll close out the show here at just about the 20-minute mark. Let me see if I can pull this up again. And bingo, here we go. This show was brought to you by DMRhosting.com. The business plan boasts unlimited data storage, unlimited data transfer, antivirus, and spam protection, along with 24/7, 365 support via chat or phone, all for $4.95 a month. Get started today with a 30-day free trial at DMRhosting.com. That's DMRhosting.com. So that's what makes it all possible right there. But thanks again for coming. I appreciate you being here and taking the time out. I know you've got a tremendous schedule and plenty of stops and things that need to be done today. So thanks again.
Thank you so much. It was great chatting with you.
And everybody out there, you have yourselves a great day. Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
For stopping by.